Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. It's an absolute pleasure to be at the Inspired AI World AI Summit. The mandate given to me is to talk about how we went about our journey of becoming an AI enabled company. And I'll focus on three fulcrums: products, processes, and people. My name is Dipu, and in my role as the head of operations, customer service, and communities, I drive digital transformation and industry leadership at Bajaj Allianz General Insurance Company. Let me start by giving you a brief overview of our organization. Bajaj Allianz General Insurance Company is a joint venture of Bajaj Finserv, a financial powerhouse in India, and Allianz, the world's leading insurer. In terms of our global rankings, we are ranked number 8 amongst the top 100 global digital insurance companies. We have been leading the way from an AI perspective, especially during the current pandemic, and listed here are just 3 initiatives which have won us global awards during the last few months. And I'll cover these initiatives and the awards in greater detail as I go about my presentation. We all have heard of how AI has really come to the fore during the last few years, and especially during the pandemic. As we can make out from this image and from the sound bites on the right-hand side of the screen, AI today is at the heart of various customer-centric initiatives. As you can see, insurers are significantly investing in AI technologies. The whole idea is to ensure that we transform our relationships with customers by mimicking human actions to the extent possible. And AI also helps us reimagine, in fact, not just re-engineer, but reimagine our business models and processes. And we all know how data has increasingly come into play over the last few years. So the whole idea is how do we leverage data with full customer consent and ensure that we give a more informed product to our esteemed customers. And investors are investing in a range of AI technologies, starting from deep learning to machine learning to NLP. If you look at some of the key trends in AI, we have seen that voice has increasingly come into play. A lot of search today happens based on voice. We've also seen a rising trend in terms of non-human interactions. Ironically, today you will find that when you're doing a Google search, very often you're asked to prove that you're human, and that is asked by a bot. And this trend is here to stay because a lot of customers like the ease in terms of AI-driven customer engagement. In fact, at very early stages of customer journeys, AI has an extremely important role to play. And increasingly, we have seen that from the firm side as well as from the customer side, AI-driven engagement has had a significant impact on customer experience. If you look at the right-hand side, you will see that increasingly customers across age bands are adopting a millennial mindset. And that is only driving and the scaling up of AI. The whole idea of AI, while it is science on the one hand, is also how do we combine science with art and thereby make artificial intelligence truly customer-centric. As we all know, AI is a collective term that we use for capabilities shown by learning systems that are perceived by us human beings as representing intelligence. And this covers a wide variety of applications and which can be deployed to great effect in order to ramp up customer experience to the next level. In fact, what we have seen thanks to AI-enforced customer experience is that platforms can today offer end-to-end customer processing and customer servicing at a completely different level. What we do is follow a 5-step approach. In fact, we have the firm belief that real customer impact is customer-led or use case-led rather than technology-led. And the 5-step process that we take is as follows. First, listen to the customer actively. Because what's very important is customers will tell you their stated needs, but if you read between the lines, you will figure out their latent, unexpressed needs. Then, once we understand the inventory of customer needs, we review the current landscape of systems and processes. And then we re-engineer them and reconfigure them to meet customers' needs. And only when we have done this, at the final step, do we focus on deploying the right technology stack. So success lies in having a use case which is customer led and deployment of the right stack. If the process is reversed, it's very unlikely that the rubber is going to hit the road. So what we did is to go about this entire value chain systematically in terms of how do we leverage AI, starting from the initial engagement of the customer with us, all the way to going beyond the stated needs to meeting his unstated needs. So for example, if you take health insurance, a key component of health insurance is medical tests. We've leveraged AI, and I'll talk about it as I go through the slides, to make a significant difference to the customer experience of this process, which can be a big roadblock, and which can also be a significant dent as far as customer experience is concerned. Similarly, when it comes to servicing customers, especially during the current phase when we have had lockdowns and then people have not been able to go to office, AI-driven digital tools have come to the fore, and we have been able to service customers in an absolutely smooth manner. In fact, at our end, we've actually seen a dip in customer complaints by 90%. Similarly, claims. The claim is the moment of truth. So how have we leveraged AI to ensure that we crunch this process from days to minutes? And as I've spoken about going beyond stated customer needs, we've also leveraged AI to meet customers' latent needs and enrich our features through the mobile app. Let me talk about the first initiative that I covered in the previous page. Today, when customers come to us for medical tests in order to get health insurance policies, what we have done is by using AI, we have ensured that the entire process is seamless. So we were able to move from paper to paperless and from days to weeks. So today we have a 100% mobile-based, fully digital and AI-driven integrated process. And it has been such a customer wow that it has actually won 5 global awards. Similarly, when call centers are not functioning, we've leveraged AI using our chatbot and also by offering customers an interface through WhatsApp. And what our AI-driven chatbot does is it goes beyond FAQs. I think that's where we've been able to make a significant impact on customers' experience. By deploying AI and NLP on a continuous basis, we've been able to move beyond FAQs to exceptional queries and ensure that our customers get a seamless experience without having a single break-in. And that is where AI really comes to the fore. We've also leveraged conversational AI to make it very normal for customers. When customers interact with us, they'd like to have a human touch. And that's where deploying conversational AI has ensured that customers not only get empathy and care when they interact with us, but they're also able to ensure that their queries get fulfilled quickly and seamlessly in a digital manner. When we think of customers, we typically think of retail customers. What we also need to understand is that there is a large B2B or corporate customer base out there. This is a situation where corporates can deploy AI using the tool that we have given to them to ensure that they can do a real-time offloading or onboarding of employees who quit or join them, so that the employee insurance coverage is live from day one, and similarly it's taken off the moment the employee leaves the organization. This used to be a very manual and cumbersome process earlier, but thanks to the deployment of AI, it's become absolutely easy for our customers. And in fact, this initiative has won us 2 awards. I spoke about going beyond stated customer needs to actually meeting customers' unstated needs. Contact tracing as a need did not exist prior to the onset of the pandemic. When this phase was thrust upon us, what we did by reading between the lines is figuring out that customers needed a tool to basically manage their contact tracing needs. So by deploying AI, we came out with a tool aptly called Social Trackback on a mobile app, whereby customers could log in their contacts. And what this does is it enables them to get in touch with their near and dear ones in case, unfortunately, they are infected. Or similarly, in case they get to know of somebody in the social circles who's infected, they can verify that they've actually been in touch with them and thereby take precautions. And what we need to understand is that the moment we enter the digital real estate, then the whole offering of AI driven features becomes industry agnostic. It doesn't matter whether you're an insurance company or whether you are a ride sharing company or whether you are an e-commerce company. When it comes to the digital real estate, assets are industry agnostic. And therefore, the fact that we were able to deploy AI to offer this feature to our customers meant that customers were immensely grateful to us. And when we got an NPS survey done in the marketplace, we found that we enjoyed the highest scores of the marketplace and with a significant gap and distance over our competitors. As I spoke earlier, the claim is the moment of truth in the insurance industry. Imagine what used to happen earlier. You crash your car, you call up the insurance company, they find out the nearest surveyor, he reaches the site, prepares an inspection report, sends it to the insurance company, then they basically assess the damage and take it forward. We figured out that we needed to just crunch this process. It was far too time consuming. So by deploying a combination of AI and machine vision, we impart customers. So customers can now take photographs and send them to us using the mobile app. And our AI engine goes through the photographs and quickly assesses the damage. And then we communicate the amount to the customer. The moment the customer gives his consent, the amount is transferred to his bank account. This whole process, which used to take days, now happens in 20 or 30 minutes. And this would not have been possible without the deployment of AI. Similarly, when the pandemic was thrust upon us, we had customers highly worried about the pandemic because you can also be a carrier without realizing it. It's asymptomatic, as we all know. But ironically, you can't go to hospitals to get yourself tested because in the quest to get tested, you can get infected. And that's when, by enabling our bot using AI, we offered our customers a self-assessment tool, and our customers just loved it. We were also able to offer this in multiple languages. Downloads went up, and our customers were immensely grateful to us that thanks to AI, they could get themselves tested in the comfort of their home. So, which meant that they could get a very clear assessment of their risk without having to go through the risk of infection. That's the beauty of AI. You're able to offer the same level or a higher level of customer experience without the negatives which come with physical interactions in today's age of social distancing. Thank you. As I always keep telling my audience and my customers, the idea is to basically share with you an overview of what we have done, and I'm happy to take any questions that you may have. Thank you and have a wonderful day or a wonderful night.